Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest video recipe. In this one I'll be making another one of our customers' favourite quiches, and it's this absolutely delicious bacon, cheese and onion recipe. It's very easy to make using simple ingredients, and to make it even easier, this one also uses our very popular hot water crust pastry method. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. Whatever device you're watching this video on, you'll find all the relevant links in the description box under the video. Simply click on the little word more and all will be revealed. Right, let's get straight into this delicious quiche recipe. I'll start by making the hot water crust pastry. Get your pan of water onto a medium heat. Add the salt to the flour and mix it in. Now form a well in the middle. This hot water crust pastry is what's used in our British pork pies. It's quick and simple to make and is absolutely delicious. Once your water is up to temperature, add the lard and butter to the pan. Remember, lard is a pork product, so if you don't use or don't like that, use a solid vegetable fat instead. Or indeed, you can use all butter. Once the butter and fat is completely melted, pour the liquid straight onto your flour. Now, using my trusty wooden spoon handle, I'll bring it all together. Once it's all mixed, turn it out onto the bench. The pastry dough should now be cool enough to work with your hands, but always check first. Form the dough into a log shape. Now divide it into 4 equal pieces. I used my digital scales off camera to get mine exact. If your measurements were correct at the start, each piece should work out at 145 grams or just over 5 ounces each. Form each piece into a round puck shape. Now you need to wrap each piece in cling film. So flatten and wrap each piece as shown. Right, once all 4 are done, get them into the fridge for at least an hour before starting the recipe. Okay, while the pastry's cooling down, we can make a start on preparing the filling. Dice 1 medium-sized onion. It doesn't have to be finely diced either. Next, chop up a couple of cloves of garlic. For the bacon, I'm using 200 grams, that's 7 ounces of unsmoked lardons. You can use ordinary back or streaky bacon cut into small pieces if you wish. Once again, if you don't use pork products, use an alternative like turkey bacon. I believe it's known as bacon. Okay, over to the stove. Now get your frying pan, or wok in my case, nice and hot. And once your pan is hot, add the bacon pieces. No need for any oil at this point. Now fry those until coloured and reduced in size as shown, but not to the point where they turn crispy. And a very quick mention to the channel's Patreon members and supporters. I'll be giving the latest list a shout out a little later in the video. Once they're at this stage, you can add your onions and garlic. Stir fry those until the onions are translucent and starting to colour. If the bacon hasn't rendered much fat out, you can add a little oil at this point. To season, I'm just adding a little freshly ground black pepper. You definitely don't need any salt in this recipe. And that's it. In real time, this took about 12 minutes to complete. Now get that into a bowl, cover it and allow it to cool. You can prep the different stages of this dish well in advance. A quick word on the equipment needed to make these mini quiches. I'll be using my 12.5cm or 5-inch individual pie tins for these. Now these are available in the website store if you're interested. I'm greasing mine with a little lard, but oil, butter or any vegetable fat will do the same job. I'll also be using my adjustable stainless steel rolling pin too, also available in the store. For this recipe I'll be using the 1/8 or 3mm spacer. For cutting the circles you'll need something around the same size as this pastry cutter, about 6 1/4 inches, that's around 16 centimetres. I'll leave a link in the description for these really handy large pastry cutters. Okay, now I'm going to be blind baking these pastry cases, so preheat your oven to 170 Celsius, that's 340 Fahrenheit or gas mark 3. Okay, on to rolling out the pastry. Take the pastry out of the fridge around 20 to 30 minutes before you start rolling it. Give the pastry a few folds with your hands until it becomes supple and malleable. Don't try to roll it as soon as it comes out of the fridge, it'll just crack on you. Dust the bench with an even coat of flour. Place your disc of pastry in the middle of the bench and give that a dust of flour too. Now roll out your pastry as shown. Always roll in one direction only, turning the pastry 45 degrees at a time. That should keep your pastry reasonably round. Once you reach the required thickness, and that's so easy with these rolling pins, cut out the circle. For most of the equipment used in this video, there'll be links to everything in the website store in the description box below the video. It's just another way you can support the channel, guys. Right, nothing difficult so far. Centralise your piece of pastry over the greased pie tin and manipulate it into place. Make sure you leave a little of the pastry sticking straight up out of the tin as shown. This will allow for any shrinkage. And for those guys and girls with long fashionable nails, use a spare piece of pastry to push it right down into the corners of the tin, where the sides meet the base. Now take a fork and prick the pastry in each tin 8 times as shown. This is called docking the pastry. It stops any build-up of trapped air causing the base of the pastry to bubble up in the oven. Now take a scrunched up circle of parchment paper and place it on the top of the pastry as shown. What we need now is for something to weigh the pastry down as it bakes. A false filling, if you will, like blind baking ceramic beads or dried beans. I'm simply going to use rice. Once it's in, lightly press it down. Okay, that's mine done. Now get them into the preheated oven and set your timer for 25 minutes. Time to make up the egg mixture. Cut a small bunch of chives or parsley into small pieces. This is more for decoration and garnish rather than taste. Crack your eggs into a large jug. Make sure that your jug has a good pouring spout on it. Whisk up your eggs until they're nice and runny. Now you can add the double or heavy cream to the jug and whisk that in. And if you wouldn't mind, guys, if you found the video useful and enjoyable, can you give the video a like by hitting the thumbs up? It really helps the channel tremendously. Thank you. Add about half of your chives or parsley to the egg mixture and whisk that in. Set that aside for now. Okay, time's up on the pastry cases. Get them out of the oven and place the tray on a wire rack. Close the oven door but keep the oven running at the same temperature. Carefully pour the rice into a heat-proof container. Hang on to those parchment papers, you can use them over and over again. Ouch, still very hot. Now lift the tins onto a separate wire rack and let them cool for a couple of minutes before we start assembling these delicious quiches. Time to assemble this wonderful quiche recipe. As my regular viewers will know, I'll build one start to finish so you can see how it's done, and I'll do the other 3 off camera. Begin by adding a little of the grated mature or strong cheddar cheese to the base of the pastry case. Cover the cheese with a little of the egg mixture. Next, add some of the bacon and onions. Not too much, but make sure it's evenly spaced out. Add a little more cheese and chives. Another layer of the egg mixture. More bacon and onions. Now fill up the case to just below the top with egg mixture. Be very careful not to overflow the cases. The last thing you want is to get any of this egg mixture between the pastry and the tin. It will stick. Been there, done that. Finally, top it off with the finely grated cheese. You can use the same cheddar cheese if you want, or a little parmesan's good. I like to finish these off with a little red Leicester. It has a great taste and a wonderful contrasting colour. And finally, finish off with some black pepper and a few chives or parsley, whatever herb you're using. And there you go, all ready for the oven. Okay, that's all 4 of these wonderful quiches done and ready to bake. So, time to get these beauties into the oven, which if you remember we left running at this temperature of 170 Celsius, that's 340 Fahrenheit or gas mark 3. Once they're in, set your timer for 20 minutes. And while those are baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also, book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. The skeleton style oven gloves, now supporting our company name, are also available too. Just check out the link in the description box to our website store if you're interested in any of these items. Right, time's up on these beauties. And they're looking and smelling wonderful. In my book, there's nothing much better than the aroma of toasted cheese drifting through your house. I hope you agree that finely grated red Leicester cheese on top really gives these quiches a fantastic appetising colour. As you can see, I've transferred them onto a wire rack but leaving them in the tins for about 10 minutes. And when I come back, I'll show you what they look like on the inside and obviously have a taste. Okay, time to cut one open. They're still pretty hot, but I can't wait any longer. If you prefer them a little more loose or runny, bake them for 18 minutes instead of 20. But these are perfect for us. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There you go. Wonderfully moist and looking so Moorish. And as you can clearly see and hear, we don't have a soggy bottom. Time for a bite. And just as I knew it would be, the pastry is cooked to perfection. And the bacon, onion and cheese filling is a stunning combination. Really delicious. All cooks should have a decent quiche recipe under their belt. And I'm sure you'll find this one to be a keeper. And this one has always had a big thumbs up from our customers, family and friends. And as promised earlier in the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Patricia McCormack, Lucy Bonanno, Evangelista Zeri, Nuala, Graham Quinn, Daryl Elder 1352, RBSB Blackburn 6819, Bear Cub 599 and Jens K 3250. And there's also 2 who wish to remain anonymous. Thanks very much guys, I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.